Dyer's Daily.
So I shall see you very, very soon, where I will tell you how I got on with the hi-fi hunting. Yeah, that's what I would have said had I carried on this podcast. Instead, I've left it well over a year to make a return. But why now? Well, I'll be honest with you, dear listener, I have been presenting podcasts for the past year in various different fields on various different subjects. I do a Status Quo podcast. I've just started a new podcast called 90s and Noughties that seems to be going quite well. And I also do an interview podcast called Watching the Wireless, and I do written reviews as well for oldtimereview.co.uk. But I don't know, but I've been feeling a little bit kind of stagnant recently. You know, where you've done so much that you start to slow down a little bit, and then you start thinking, well, how did I get here? And I think it all stems from stopping the Dyer's Daily podcast. So I went back and I listened to some episodes and tried to listen to my flow, listen to the way I was talking, and tried to get back to the essence of what that was, because to be honest, I loved doing this podcast, and it's certainly, although it's not really about anything, I have certainly enjoyed doing it. You know, it's one of my favorite things. So I listened back to these episodes and thought, when I started this podcast, I had planned to do 100 episodes, and I looked at the listener, the count of episodes, and saw there that it said 67, and I thought, wouldn't it be good to kind of bring the podcast back, get to those 100 episodes, and then see where we are? Because, you know, it's 5 minutes a day, and I have pretty much taken up the mantra quite recently that I planned to record 5 minutes of audio of me speaking a day. And the thing is, I record several different podcasts, but a lot of them are interview based, where there's other people talking, or it's scripted, whereas this is completely free flowing. What you're hearing right now is absolutely 100% improvised. And that's exactly what it was. And I've found quite recently that I've struggled with that. I've had to do like 8 takes of a podcast to get it right, when actually I need to be a little bit more free-flowing. So it's, for me, trying to get back to the essence of what I wanted to do in the first place when I heard the likes of Ian Lee and James O'Brien and people like that, people that have obviously planned what they're going to say, but they say everything with such a kind of spontaneity and kind of that occasional thing of you don't know what's going to happen. And I like that. I appreciate that. And so that's why I decided to bring back Dyer's Daily, really as kind of a personal thing. The amount of listeners on this podcast doesn't really concern me. Not at this stage. For me, it's kind of a self-help thing. So what will I be talking about on this podcast? Well, I'm going to be looking through media, pop culture. That's kind of my specialist subject, but I won't touch politics. I will try not to touch COVID, and certainly no Brexit, no Trump, no anything like that. I'll just be talking about media and popular culture. Oh, and on Fridays as well, I'm going to be dipping into my archive and digging out some old interviews that I've done in the past. So I look forward to that. But from me, Jamie Dyer, I say thank you very much for listening to this edition of Dyer's Daily, and I shall see you tomorrow for the second podcast of the new run. We're going to get to that 100 podcasts, whatever we do. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider. Tweet me at JamieDyer89 on Twitter, and I say have a great day. Bye-bye.